turn on your video camera. That would be good. That helps me. I love seeing our faces. And like what Precious said, my name is Nnamdi Udeze. I've been in data protection, data privacy for the past 5 years. Before that, I'm that guy that, I don't know, I've changed careers maybe almost 4 or 5 times now, moving from one career to the next. And today I'm going to be talking about overcoming career roadblocks. And that was the topic that Precious and her team gave me to talk about. But just before I start, I just want us to indicate in the chats if you've had any career roadblock in the past, or if you're having one currently, anything like that. Please just indicate with a yes, no in the chats. There is a reason why I want us to answer. That's good. I'm still waiting for more people to answer. That is all make me start, right? Your responses. Yes, no. I think there are more yeses than no from what I can see. Okay, I think I have enough response to actually start, right? So I can see that there are yeses and there are some no's. For the guys that said no, and just as I'm starting, I'm going to be sharing my screen. I can't see the chat or anything at the moment. But if you have any question, Precious, please just let me know if there is anything that I need to, and I'll move out of my presentation screen. Lots of yeses and a few no's. But the thing is, with career roadblock, for those that said yes, I'm sure you're going to share 1 or 2 tips for the ones that you've overcome, right? This meeting or this presentation is not me talking to you. It's going to be us sharing ideas. I'm going to set the pace, but I want us to come in as much as possible in the chats. Just raise up your hand and Precious will let me know, and then I would keep quiet for you to share your wisdom. But let's not do that too much. For those that said no, maybe you've not had career roadblocks. You would have had adversity in other areas of your life, because there's one thing I'm 100% certain. As long as you are in planet Earth, you're going to have adversity. Adversity is the same thing as roadblock. So you hear me interchange those 2 words. You're going to have adversity. If it's not in career, you're going to have maybe you have in finance. If it's not in finance, maybe with 1 or 2 relationships. For those that are married, maybe in that area also. In different areas, we are going to have adversity. It comes with the package of being on Earth, right? And it's very important that we understand how to overcome them. For those that said yes, the ones you had in the past might be small potatoes to the one that you will have in the future. And I'm not scaring you, but it's the way life is. It looks like every level that we pass through is like an exam, right? Where the next level can be harder than the one you've experienced in the past. So we'll just start with a simple definition, for especially because of those people that said no. What is a career roadblock? And I'll just come out of this shared screen, and I want us to just put in the chat maybe a sentence, a phrase that we would use to describe career roadblock. So I'll just give us 1 second to just put in the chat. Like I said, this is going to be very interactive. That's how I like to do my presentations, right? I am not talking to you. A lot of times we do have the answers to some of these things. So please, let's just share in the chats. There I can see 24 people. From our own understanding, what would we say are career roadblocks? I know we are typing, so I'll just give us 1 more minute. Shalom, thank you. Lack of advancement in your career. That's a very big one. Like, I've experienced that one firsthand, and it can be so annoying. Any other person? Uncertainty on the direction to go. That's also a very big one that a lot of people face. Fear of change. Wow, that's that one, especially for people that have come to mentor partners, right? This is one that that will resonate well with them, because many people are trying to switch from one career path to another. Temporary delay in direction, feeling stuck, lack of growth opportunities. You guys are already doing my presentation for me. Thank you. Poor work-life balance. being in a certain career for a long time, transition, awesome, awesome. I love what you guys are saying, right? So as we can see, you guys already understand what career roadblocks are. My simple definition is that career roadblocks are anything that would hinder growth and limit success opportunities. So in your career, if there is anything that is happening that will hinder you from growing in your career and that will limit success opportunities, whatever that will be to you, that is a career roadblock. And don't forget our topic. It is how to overcome them, right? And we'll get to that. So I'll share something in the chat. It's a document for us that we are going to walk through. So this presentation, I want us to come out with something in the presentation, right? So it's a Word document. Just click that link. It's going to prompt you to make a copy. So you make a copy, and then during my presentation, there will be prompts for you to answer. And this is one of those prompts, right? So in that document, just write it. Nobody will see it. It's between you, yourself, and that document. I want us to be reflective as we listen. This is the first thing that I want us to write in that document, right? What career roadblocks feel most pressing to you right now? And if there is none at the moment, that you are good, you are fine, you are in a good place, good for you. You can just leave that question. But for those people that are experiencing one career roadblock or the other, just write it. A lot of us might have put that in the chat, but write it in that document. And it's very important that we do, because come 1 year from now, come 6 months from now, if you implement some of the things that I will tell you later on, right? You are going to see how they are going to make those career roadblocks disappear. So I'm just going to give us 60 seconds to just download that document and make a copy and write that, please. And if you need more time, please just indicate in the chat, Nnamdi, hold on, I'm still writing. And we'll try as much as possible to wait for everyone. And Shalom and Precious, please, if I'm almost using up my time, because I can talk too much sometimes, just let me know. Ayo, getting your feet in the door. I love that. That is one that I resonate with. Like I said, I've changed careers like 5 times in this my short, not as if I'm 50 years old. So when it comes to career roadblocks, they can come from either external or internal. And I know a lot of the career roadblocks that we've mentioned, you can see that they fall into one of those 2 categories, right? So external will be limited opportunities. You're in an industry or you're in a company and there are limited opportunities for growth or career advancement, like we said in the chat. Some of them could be organizational changes. This one, I have a story. Something happened to me last year, right? Doing well in my job, everything is going on fine. Everybody likes Nnamdi. Nnamdi is smashing it. And then there was a merger and acquisition, and all of a sudden, the story that HR told me was that you did not do anything bad, but we have a limited budget for your department. And as a result of the merger and acquisition, somebody has to go. And they decided that since everybody is doing well, let them start with the earliest person, the person that joined the company, the latest person that joined the company, which was yours truly, Nnamdi. And they gave me my sack letter, right? And that was because before that, I got that news, right? I had some plans in that industry. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Very interesting, but that was a very significant career roadblock. I waited a few months before I entered my next role. And why did I wait a few months? Because I wanted a job that is similar to where I was coming from, and I was not getting it in that industry. The same data privacy, the same data protection, but in an industry that I was really keen on. And I had to pivot. So that can also be a career roadblock for something that is not within your control. Your CEO says something, the business makes a decision, and then it affects you as a person. Or industry downturn. We've all heard of tech layoffs, right? It happens like every 3 years. It just happens. And when tech companies are doing well, and all of a sudden things will start happening, like COVID, for example, and people will just say that a tech company is not cannot afford to pay them their salary, and they'll just start laying people off. So that is external, and there is a lot in the chat. We can just go through and see what other people have mentioned, and in your mind just like, oh, this is external, this is not within my control, right? This is something that there is nothing I could have done differently. It just happened, and I'm caught in the crossfire. But there is also internal, right? And this one is something that you are self-sabotaging yourself. You have self-doubt. You are doubting your capability, lack of motivation, right? Fear of failure. All of these things have been mentioned in the chat, and we know them. So, but there are also some other ones. But before I mention that, right, it's good that we all know that over 70, and I found this stat very interesting, that over 70% of professionals have experienced career stagnation at one point. So you are in good company. It's not something that is unique to you. It's something that a lot of us have experienced. Even a lot of the people that are part of mentor partners at the moment, people that are training, people that are doing mentorship, even Darlington himself, right? We've all experienced career roadblocks at the moment. But there are still some other ones. Office politics. Because of office politics, you are not being promoted. I remember one job that I had in Nigeria, one of the banks, office politics. Wow, that thing really showed me shege. For about 4 years in a post, and every year you see that you're meant to be promoted, but office politics, and some of us that don't know how to play office politics very well, you will just you are going to keep being overlooked. And at the end of that story, the last one that broke the camel's back, and I would say God helps me, because a few months before that, it was very clear. People were already congratulating me in advance. Nnamdi, your name is already on the list of people that will be promoted. And I was like, it was very sure, because like about a year plus to that time, I was given a position that there is no way someone at my level will be given that position. And it was just a way of my boss preparing and justifying that, okay, this guy is due for a promotion and all of that. And I was doing well on the job. I didn't mess up that rule, right? So everybody was expecting that. But my friend, as God would speak to her, told me that her boss is coming from Lagos, another company coming from Lagos, and I should just have a chat with her. They are coming to hire some people in another organization. And I went to the chat, and I went to that chat, right? That meeting. My shoulder pad was so high. I did the interview, I smashed it, and the woman told me, the MD of the company said, how much do you want to be paid? And in my head, I just did a quick math. I said, I'm going to get promoted in about a month's time. That promotion, I would earn, let's say, for example, I would earn £100,000. I'm earning 50,000. I would earn 100,000. I said 100,000 naira, because this happened in Nigeria. Every month, right? This company, I'm taking a risk here, so they should not pay me anything less than 100. So I said 150 as an example, right? The amount was a lot higher than that. I think I was saying, I told them 500k per month or something like that. And the woman said, that's too much. We can't pay you 500k. We'll pay you, let's say, I think they said they'll pay me like 350. And I was like, I can't accept 350. The promotion I will get in a month's time, I'm going to earn more than 350. So the least I will do is to take something higher. My brothers and sisters, promotion came, and office politics was at play again. My name that supposedly was on the list up until the time when it was this thing was not there, right? Thank God, myself and that woman, the woman believed in me so much that she gave me the offer for the 500k that I requested for. But I told her I'll think about it. I took the offer. And thank God I did not reject it. Thank God I was not too proud to reject that offer. So immediately everybody was calling me, Nnamdi, sorry, your name was supposed to be there. We don't know what happened. On my desk, I just typed my resignation letter and I sent it to my boss. My boss said, Nnamdi, I'm so unfailingly next year, will give you the promotion. But I was not bothered. I just said, no, there's nothing you can do. Why? Because I already had that opportunity. But I understand what it means for workplace politics to actually affect you. And it's affecting a lot of people. For those that are here in the UK, it's something that we need to learn. You need to cultivate it. There is a way to relate with the guys in the UK. It's different from the way we operate in Nigeria, right? And it's just something, lack of clear goals. Someone mentioned that in the chat, is something that would affect skill gaps, fear of change. It was also mentioned in the chat. For skill gaps, right? This is where mentor partners come in. Even clear goals, our new process now would help you to craft that goal to look, okay, what would 1 year in your career, in this career, look like? What would 5 year look like? This is what you need to do in order to excel in this career. This is what mentor partners would help you to do, and all of that. And that's why we are so different, because a lot of training organizations will just go through that training and they just want to train you and that's it. But we are going to give you that roadmap before you join the training and also support you afterwards. But that's for different roadblocks, and we are all aware. So let's go to how do we overcome them, right? That's the crux of my presentation. And there are two ways that I want to look at it. I mentioned internal and external, and I want us to look at internal. What are the internal things that we need to do? What are the things that you need to take ownership of in order to overcome career roadblock? Nobody will help you with this one. No, there is no Darlington that can help you. There is no mentor partners that can help you. If you are not ready to do this yourself, nobody can help you. And the first is continuous learning and knowledge. A lot of us are in areas that require us to take certification. Nobody will sit for those exams for you. You need to decide that you're going to sit down and do those certifications to make sure that at least there is nothing that is holding you back. And even outside certifications, your personal learning, there is something in data privacy that's called horizon scanning, right? And it's just you looking at, oh, what court case happened in Mexico regarding data privacy that would affect us here in the UK, or that I can implement in my office, or that I just need to learn about. You are checking different areas, and for different disciplines and careers, what that will look like will be different, but you need to be devoted to continuous learning. There are podcasts now for their project management podcasts. If you don't listen to podcasts, there are podcasts about project management, about product management, about almost every discipline you can think of. If you search Spotify, you will find somebody that has a podcast that is related to that. Here at Mentor Partners, we've decided that we will be having this seminar or a lot more this year compared to the way we were doing it last year, just so that we are committed to that continuous learning. It's something that you need to take serious. If you don't see yourself as someone that is committed to continuous learning, it might be hard for you to overcome some roadblocks. Some roadblocks, unfortunately, you cannot overcome them with the knowledge that you have today. You need to upskill your knowledge for you to for you to scale that roadblock. Core value alignment. So this one would help you to be grounded in whatever career or office that you find yourself. A lot of us, we've not thought about our core values, even the type of jobs and offices that you would apply to. You're currently working in an organization. Some of the things that are being done there is going against your core values as a person, as a professional. It's going to help you to say, okay, because what is the point of changing who you are because you want to earn $1,000 more, right? There are some things that are better than money. You can't sell your soul in quotes because of any financial gain. So you need to know what your core values are. If you're in a place where some of the things that are done are not in alignment with your core values, please, you need to look for another organization that are in alignment and that would help you to grow, and not just grow in your career, but you are growing and you also have that peace of mind. Courage and boldness. This is where I've seen a lot of people make a lot of people have jeopardized their careers because you're not bold. You're looking for a job, you're applying, and you're looking at the JD, and you're not qualified for 40%. 60%, you're fine. You can do 60% of the job, but there is that 40% that you're not qualified. You don't know what to do, and then you just dump that job and you move to the next. Breaking news: the guys that crafted the JD don't expect the person that they would hire to qualify for everything that is in that job description. They know that there are some things that you will learn on the job, but you need to just know which ones are the most important. So most JDs, for example, would have maybe 7 or 8 bullet points of things that they want the person to do. There will be 2 or 3 that for the business that is putting out that job application is non-negotiable. The person, so you need to know what that is. Sometimes it's not very visible, but for me, as a rule of thumb, if I see that I have 50%, 60%, and the other 40%, I can learn it either on the job or before the interview or something. My dear, I'm going to apply for that job. You need to have that boldness. You need to have that courage sometimes. And or maybe you're in a job, there is a project that is coming up, and it feels like, oh, you can't do this project, right? You need to be able to own up and come up and say, see, I'm not sure I can do this 100%, but I'm ready to give it a go. That is how you are able to advance in your career, right? Grit and perseverance. Things are not going to be rosy all the time. We need to have grit. A lot of us are indomie in our personality. 2 minutes, we are already done. You need to be like stone. If they go, boy, tire, boy, nothing they happen. We are not shaking. Grit and perseverance, and also believe. What are your core beliefs? For me, I'm a Christian, so Christianity and all of that is a part of my core belief, right? That it also attributes to breaking down career roadblocks, because that would feed into all of these other areas. So I'm coming to the end of the presentation. I want us to look at that sheet again and write which attributes do you want to develop among these personal parts. Which one do you think I need to develop in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year? And what would be your first step? If you don't know what your first step is, that's a good question to ask in the chat, and I'm sure I'll be able to help. And if not, my Oga is here, Darlington is here, who will be able to help. So look at all of this, and maybe there's something that I did not mention, right? Is it your knowledge? Do you need to do more in terms of knowledge and continuous learning? Do you need to know what your core values are? And do you need to align your career with your core values? Are you lily-livered? Is it boldness something that you need to work on? Do you need to be courageous? Grit and perseverance, any small hindrance you've broken down, you've given up, you've gone to the next shiny object, you're not persevering in whatever it is. Or belief, what are your core beliefs? Which of this area do you think you need to work on? All right, so I want you to just look at that sheet. This is the next question. Write it down. And I'm going to give us a few seconds to write. We don't need more than 30 seconds. While I'm talking, you would know which one pertains to you. So 30 seconds for us to just quickly. How else do you overcome career roadblocks? So this one is something that you would also do, but you're now talking about something that it's more we are looking at more strategies, kind of like. And the first is goal setting and action planning. I've mentioned that before. A lot of us have not looked ahead into our career, right? You've not looked 1 year, you've not looked 5 years into your career. You've not asked yourself, where do I see myself in this career in 5 years time, in 10 years time? The only time we think about that question is when we are preparing for an interview. But much more than an interview, you need to sit down and ask yourself. And we all know about SMART goals, right? It needs to be measurable. It needs to be something that is time bound. All the SMART things, you need to do that in your goals, right? Also, building resilience. Another one that I want us to really look at is realistic appraisal. A lot of us don't do appraise ourselves. Who have we spoken to? Do we have a mentor? Do we have someone that we can talk to and say, see, how can I have this roadblock, or I've been experiencing this in my career? How do I overcome this? Have you done like a self-assessment to see, okay, this is what has been happening. This is what I'm not doing right. This is what I need to do right. And the last point with regards to strategies, constructive coping mechanism. And this one is very, very important. And what this means is when challenges come your way, how do you see challenges? Some people, challenges come the way and they see it as something that is negative, but you can always put a positive spin to everything that has happened to you. For example, giving the example of what happened in to me last year, right? Oh, this happened, the company said this, and I was let go, and they let me go, right? I could have looked at it in a very negative way. Oh, this company, they don't value this, which all of that might be true, but there is a positive way to look at it. Okay, I learned this, and this in this organization. I was able to do this, I was able to achieve this. If I've not been in this organization, I wouldn't have known about this interesting area or this field that has deepened my understanding of data privacy and data protection, right? You need to always think of the positive to everything. Not everybody is there to get you. For us, for we that are Africans here in the UK, especially for those in the UK, not everything is racially motivated. There is a racial aspect. I'm not saying we shouldn't deny that, but not everything is down to that. You need to be able to look at things from a balanced perspective, a balanced lens. And a lot of times is okay. What I'm trying to say is don't look at everything from the lens of your trauma. Something that have happened in the past to you. Don't let that guide how you see when somebody talks to you one way. You say, oh, okay, because of this. No, nobody is always there to get you. You should always look at the positive aspects. What are the positives from this situation? Always ask yourself that question. And that's the end of my presentation. I don't want to take enough time, but this is the last question that I want us to answer. I want you to write in that document, right? What is the one insight that you've taken away from all this plenty talk that I have said? And what will you do differently tomorrow? And this is how I want you to start that sentence. I commit to doing this as a result of this that I have learned from what Nnamdi has said in the past, I think 20, 15, 20, 25 minutes. Yeah, so if there are any questions, unfortunately, I might be dropping off soon, but my guy is here. Everything that I've said, he'll be able to give answers to them. But please, like I said, that document that I shared is for you to do that self-reflection. It's for you to answer those questions. And if you're still having challenge, like a lot of us, we already know what mentor partners are here for, right? You can always book that session, talk to the guys, and we are always here for you. So thank you guys for listening to my TED Talk. And have a wonderful.
So I think Angela should be next. Precious, am I correct?
Yes. So we want to thank you, Nnamdi, for this time. And please, you can drop your questions on the chat box because Nnamdi will be leaving very soon. And lastly, I would like to also ask us to fill in the questions on the chat box. What contents do you want to be seen on the alumni platform? Has the alumni platform helped you? And if yes, how? You don't need to write too many things, just express yourself. And if you want to write so many things, please go ahead, feel free. And what advice do you want to give to the your younger self, if you go through the training again? Some people, as he also said, some people have this, let's say, regrets. They feel maybe they did something in the past that was not right. If you're going to go through mentors partners training again, what would you advise yourself to do better? And what made the training or mentorship journey outstanding for you? You could also book a session with us on the website. If you're a first time, if you're just joining us for the first time, you can book a session. You can drop your questions also on the chat box. So at this time, I'll be welcoming the second panelist, and her topic will be on role and importance of mentorship. She is a BCS certified business analyst with over 6 years experience in business analysis. And she has an MSc in peace studies and conflict resolution. And she's experienced in delivering complex digital transformation projects while collaborating with, large groups and stakeholders. She's a professional. She professionally graduated with BCS Business Analysis diploma certificate. So she's all round. So if you want her in the professional side, from the certificate side, she's going to give you tips and share her insights on how she went through the journey. So she has so many other things attached to her, but at this time I'll just make it brief, and I will invite Angela to take us through the role and the importance of mentorship.
Yeah, she's a fantastic mother. I think you didn't add that in the CV.
Yes, but a mother of two beautiful children. So if you are also struggling with balancing motherhood and career, she's also there to also assist you. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Precious. That was the intro. That was great. Thanks, Darlington. Yes, so like Precious said, I'm a BA over 6 years experience. Unfortunately, I was not able to put together a fantastic presentation like Namdi did, but I'll just go through the questions that Precious sent across, basically overall talking about the role of mentorship. And the first one I'll be talking about is the role of mentorship in career growth. And I'll just bring it to my time going through my training as a business analyst and all that. So initially I'd gone on an initial training as a BA, but when I finished that training, I didn't feel I was ready. And then somebody introduced me to Mentor Partners, Darlington. And when I started off, it wasn't just, okay, you are getting onto training, just start doing the training course. It was also mentorship attached to that training. It was a one-to-one. And then it started off with that initial discovery call where we sat down to say, do like a SWOT analysis. And I went through that with Darlington to understand my strengths and my weaknesses. And for me, at that point, it was a complete career shift for me. At my background, even though I had done a BSc in political science and like Precious said, MSc in peace studies and conflict resolution, this was now a whole new field I was going into. So it was now sitting down to understand what I needed to do to be successful in that role. So it was a one-to-one session, and Darlington understood my weaknesses, and focusing on those weaknesses through the training, he made sure he would pull that up. For instance, I'm a very quiet person. I don't like speaking up, but he made sure that during meetings, he would say, Angela, present this, Angela, do this. So he kept trying to pull me out of my shell to get me ready to go into that role as a business analyst. And outside of the whole SWOT analysis and the strengths, it was also, okay, what do you need at the foundation level to be successful or to go in as like a generalist BA? The focus was on getting everything ready so that when you could go into that role, you have the foundation, the basic that needed to succeed. And we came up with a roadmap. It was like, you need to do this certification, you need to do this course, you need to do that course, you need that course. So while we're still, so that's why I said it was a full package. It wasn't just going through the training alone. It was understanding the certifications that I needed to do, which wasn't tied to the training. It was just things that I needed to do on my own. So the Mentor Partners had a plan for, I remember at the time I was under a few of us that were BAs and project managers, I recall, and we had like a spreadsheet for everyone with a plan for certifications. And that was a great advantage because even till now, that has been very helpful to me. And sometimes he'll check in and say, have you done this? Have you done that certification? Have you done a certification? And I'm like, oh, I haven't ticked that box yet. But it was getting me ready to go into that role. Also the insights, the expertise, because Mentor Partners brings years of expertise, and then they're able to bring that to bear in your life. For me, they brought that to bear in my life because it was like, this is what you needed to do and all that. And once I got into my first role, that on-the-job support was there for me. I'll go into meetings and I'll come back to Darlington, I'm a bit quiet, and it's like, do you know that most of the people that are on meetings don't even know what they're saying? They're just speaking big English. That's what Darlington said, they're just speaking big English. And really, because I had that fear, but later when I sat down and I really started listening to what some of these people were saying on me, so like, Darlington is right, so there's no need for you to be afraid about speaking up during meetings. Some of these people don't even know what they're saying or what they're even doing. You're even better than them most times, but it's just like you just don't realize it at that time. So for me, the mentorship was just, I think it was just what I really needed at that time to get my foot into the door. Outside of going through the training, understanding what I needed to do, it boosted my self-confidence, let me know that I was ready, let me know what I needed, the tools I needed to go in and succeed, and also to continue to thrive in my workplace. So overall, I think my advice to anybody here is that if you wanted to choose a training institute, I will always recommend Mentor Partners because of the mentorship that comes along with the training, not just, oh, you've been assigned to this project, go and do this project and deliver. And then the next thing, okay, professional development. Yes, like I said, continuous building my confidence and that growth mindset. It wasn't a case of, okay, yes, you've gone into this role and then you can now settle. Mentor Partners will still be on top of you, and that's the part of having that mentor will still be on top of you again. Don't settle and say, okay, yes, you've got into the role, you don't need to do anything else. It's continuous improvement. Oh, you've done this certification in this, you need to move to the next level, you need to move to the next level. So at every point in time, there's that constant communication to say, How are you doing? What's happening with you? Can we support you in any way? I recall there was a time I reached out to Darlington to say I was trying to do some process maps, and we walk through what I needed to do at work. So that support is always there, or has always been there, and that support has even been with me is till today, because every time I'm still in touch with mentor partners. So it's now because the community is growing. The community is growing, so I still reach out to Darlington from time to time, and if I have any issue, even when it comes to job search, I've seen where Darlington has sent me, a mentor partner sent me a few links, even on the Telegram chat. You see links there for jobs, and you see people come questions, how can I resolve this issue, or where can I do this certification? So that community is really growing. What else am I going to talk about in this area? Because of that communication as well, and that community that has been evolving, it's now, mentor partners also pushes you in a way that you find yourself also becoming a mentor to the new mentees or trainers that people that are going into the training program. And you find that I find that it helps me sharpen my skills as well. For instance, for the past 2 years of my role, I can't remember when I've had to do a process map on the job because of the way the work stream is. But when maybe that Darlington will say, this person needs help with this process map, can you help? It helps you also sharpen your skills in the areas that maybe you haven't done, some things that I haven't done in a long time. So that being part of that community and also being involved keeps you on your feet, keeps you in the loop, in the know of advancement in technology, and also how to keep growing yourself. So before I carry on, does anybody have any questions for me, especially switching career from any other field into business analysis specifically? Okay, that's fine. So I think mine is not going to be as long as Nnamdi's, but it's just to say the benefits I've gained having a mentor, still having a mentor, because I've grown from, in the whole 6 years, I've grown from BA, junior BA to a senior BA. I'm also now a contractor, and that is all based on the foundation that I had set for me, mentor partners. Yeah, so Precious, if you have any extra questions, throw my role down.
And thank you, Angela. Please, if we have questions for Angela, we can also drop it in the chat box. And if you have questions for Nnamdi also, like from what Nnamdi explained, please drop it in the chat box, and we have professionals that will answer it, so don't be scared. Because of the time we have, I would like us also to go to the chat box and answer the few questions there, please. And I would like us to be as honest as we can. As Angela said, for the mentorship role, we do a lot in mentors partners. We follow you up even when you get your new job. We also sit on you and make sure that you're comfortable, you have adjusted to the new work environment, and we feel you can carry on. Okay, that's when we can say, okay, you can go on. But before then, we are always on you to make sure that you succeed. So if you are still having doubts, please, you can check our website and you can go for a free consultation. It's free, totally free. And you can ask any questions you have, and we will give you clarity on that. So the last question, or the last topic we'll be going to have is going to be more practical. And our panelist is a certified principal technical project and program manager with over 10 years of experience. So he has led so many companies and so many projects across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and as any other place you can imagine, he has really done projects in there, and he has worked in IT, telecoms, mobile and software, infrastructure, financial industries, and what's more you can talk about. So we are going to call on Darlington Anele. This is just a little of what he has. He has so many certifications also. So he will also give us hands-on experience and like explanations on scaling your career with a plan. Our topic today is scaling your career with a plan, and he would break it down to the tiniest bit so that every one of us would participate. Thank you.
Hey, God. Okay, let me try. I'll just try to share my screen now. The topic you gave me is very hard. So I don't know if my screen is visible. So it's more of so setting a career plan, it's important, right? It's not like we just wake up, I'm a project manager, I'm a business analyst, I'm a data analyst, and they ask you, okay, where are you headed to in the next 2 years, 3 years? You say, brother, leave it. And wherever, you know this song, wherever he leads me, I will go. Like you just wherever the tide moves, that's where I would go. It doesn't work like that. Nokia used to be a world leader, but not understanding the market, as at the time the market was evolving, made them lose their grip. Same with BlackBerry, right? That people are buying your product does not mean they will constantly keep buying your product. So you need to understand where is the market going so that you would align yourself with the market. Else, you would actually be left out. So setting career goals are very, very important. So the aim of this session, I will try to be very fast, even though I've been practicing how not to talk too much. So I'll try to be very fast. And if I am driving on a speed lane, please call the road safety so that they can flag me down. Okay, so let's quickly go. For me, I actually broke this thing into 3 stages. So there's a stage of doing a research or a gap analysis. So the gap analysis would actually help you to know what is the market, like identify a unique area of interest. So I want to be a data analyst, for example, or I am a data analyst. Is either you already are or you're intending to be. So I want to be a data analyst. Okay, fine. What is the role of a data analyst? Who do they work with? What tools do they use? If you don't know how to go about it, maybe you might need to do what? Speak to somebody who is already a data analyst. Because the best way to get to somewhere is to relax in the plane of somebody who knows how to get there. Now, it's not a time for you to be proud, it's a time for you to be humble. One of my best friends, he's not here, but I would like to mention his name so that wherever this video is, they can go find him out. His name is Charles. He was a year younger than me in school. And I can remember when us in SS3 had a very bad foundation. I mean, we didn't understand some few things in further math. So, and some of us were a little bit proud. I knew that he had a private lesson teacher who was teaching him differentiation and integration and differentiation according to the first principle and all of those calculus kind of thing. And during break, I would go and meet him and I say, please teach me. And I wasn't doing it secretly. I was doing it in the lab or all of these places. If you want to say anything, say, right? So he would bring out that, I've forgotten that further math textbook we used to use in secondary school, not the additional math, there's this other one. So he would break it down for me. He taught me everything, how to integrate, how to differentiate. You know, sometimes for that math, you have things like swords. I miss for that math. You have things like swords and all of those things. So he taught me. Now, I graduated my first in GSS1, my very first position was 8. And then from 8, I went down to whatever it was. I won't tell it us so that that one is between me and my God. But then when I was graduating in SS3, I was the best in the science class, and then I was second best overall. And I was looking at it like, where did I make this particular? It was because I was using many of my juniors in school who knew things. Teach me. If you like, go to your house and put it. Thank God there was no social media there. If you like, go and announce it that I taught that meeting. That's your business. But I was learning from everybody. So a coach at any point doesn't really mean it is somebody who is so big. Out of mouth of babes and suckling. Sometimes even your child could teach you something. Like, you have to be very open. Don't look at your age. Don't look at the like. If your car is bad, your mechanic might not really have gone to school. But if your mechanic says this is what needs to be changed, you listen. So my point is, we submit to the place of higher knowledge. That's where speaking to a career coach is important, so that we could sit down and then do a need assessment and do a gap analysis. I want to be a data analyst in the UK market, specifically in the health sector. Then we'll do a lens, do a research. What do they need? What kind of help? Because the way we analyze health data, due to its sensitivity, might be different from the way we analyze oil and gas data. So there might be some things unique to that particular industry. So if we do all of that, we would come up with a gap analysis report. That report would help us to say, okay, to be an effective data analyst for the next 2 to 4 years, based on all the requirements we've gathered, you would then say, okay, data analysis is divided into, I need to know how to, there's a data analyst part. There is also the, let's say there's the data presentation part, there's the data visualization part, there's the data exploration part. So you divide all of those things into what that role entails. I'm a technical program manager. My role breaks down into project management, product management, and technical leadership. There are some persons who are data scientists, their role breaks down into different things. So try to break down that role and then identify the skills, the certification, the industry trends within that part. Then let us, the short term, because this is long term, the short term is now break it into months, and what can I target in 6 months? This is target in 6 months. This is not target 6 million. This is 6 months. So that nobody will say, in my presentation, I mentioned that in short term you make 6 million. I didn't say that. Now, so let's have a look. So I was trying to be very fast. So this is, my role is divided into project and product management. There's the technical leadership. I'm also a coach. You could even put, I'm a father, I'm a mother, I'm a deacon in church. I don't care. So the point is breaking down into different work streams. Then identify in my year one in project management, because year one is your breakthrough year. Year one is the time that you intend to break into that industry, right? What are the things that are required? So apart from getting a coach to transition, I'm taking it that, okay, you're already in the role and you want to scale. But if you haven't started the role, maybe you need to look for a training provider or a coaching provider to help you to transition. So here is, I've looked at it. For me to be a technical program manager, an effective technical program manager, I have this Excel sheet I built. If I go back one bit, I targeted 6 organizations that I knew that were top class: Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Netflix, Facebook, Amazon. I asked what's their job roles for technical program manager. So I brought all of them together. I summarized them and I said, okay, these are the sub different categories. These are the things they want for a program manager. Now, I had not worked in any of them, even though I've worked with them. I've not worked for them. How? I don't know the difference. I've not been employed by them, but I've interacted and worked with them. So I was looking to join one of them. This was 3 years ago while I was still before I moved over to the UK. I was planning to work with one of them. And I said, okay, if I want to be the best in this role, I need to target the companies that are top in this industry. So I looked at what they did and I started developing myself. I was under coaching. I had friends. We were pushing together. And when job interviews came, I was interviewing as though I was interviewing for this organization. So most of the interviews were just kind of like, I overperformed, because even though I was not doing those interviews with Amazons and the likes, I was doing the interview as though I was doing interview with those companies. Just like if you want to be a footballer, you begin to target which club is the best in the world. I don't want to mention clubs now before somebody will say, why will you mention this one? So, but you choose a particular, you actually set a very high target. It doesn't matter whether you reach there or not, but you really do have to set it. So here is skills. I would mention the key skills that are required. So for me, agile, this is not perfect. This is just for the sake of today's stuff. So agile project management and delivery lifecycle is what I want to focus on in my year one. In terms of tools, I want to learn how to use Jira and Confluence. And you could add, I also want to learn how to use MS Project. Now, in terms of certifications, I want to get my Prince 2 certification, that is the foundation, and maybe I want to get PSM1. And then what are the industry trends in project management? You could say that everything is going towards AI now. So in that first 1 year, I want to focus on how can I adopt AI in project management, and how can I at least improve my data literacy, or how can I manage data, for example. So this is what, for example, you put in first year. In the second year, you could say, okay, at least if I've learned some things, project managers have to deal with constraints like cost, like time, like schedule, like risk, like scopes, like quality, and all of those things. How do I actually manage it? And then tools, you put a particular tools. Make sure that based on the skills you want to develop, that will help us to know the tools we need to use to develop those skills, the certifications there, and then also based on industry trend. So what I do is, based on industry trend and the skills, the tools would fall in place just very easily. For example, in technical leadership, in my year one, since I'm a technical program manager, there's technical there, there's program there, and there's management there. So you could even break it program, technical, and management. So there's data, there's analysis. So if you check, most roles are kind of combination of different things. There's IT, there's support, there's engineering. If you join them together, you're an IT support engineer. So if I break it that way, it simply means there are things I need to do in IT, there are things I need to do learn how to support, there are things I need to do in engineering. So if I break it that way, I would know what are the skills I need to develop, what are the tools I need to learn, is there any certifications I need to get, and where is the industry going to? So I will plot this graph for 3 years. I will plot this graph for 3 years. And then if after plotting it, I will go back to my coach and say, this is where I intend to go. And for those who are Christians, there's a part in Proverbs that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways, ask for his help, and he will direct your path. So it says in all your ways. What that means is, I'm about to do this thing. There is a part of God's wisdom is to direct. So when God gives you that direction, you just go. I do a lot of research. When somebody say, how did you know that this company was going to this particular site? Apart from God giving me direction, right? I go deep down to dig. I know where project management is going to go in the next 5 years. I handle the program. I started, first of all, last year. I was working in the hardware IoT department as a program manager, and I did a project that ran into hundreds of thousands. So I did a program that ran into hundreds of thousands, and one of them was to do a product benchmarking. So what we did was, we took our hardware device, we took about 6 to 7 other competitor devices, and we benchmarked it. We checked for the features, we checked for the connectivity, we checked for everything. And we also checked what our customers saying in terms of use of IoT or Internet of Things. We also check where's the market landscape going in the next 10 years. All of these things made us to rebrand and rebuild. So for me, I need to know where AI is jumping everywhere now. Some people are like saying, God forbid, I'm going to pray. That thing was not it. No matter how you pray from today to tomorrow, it's here to stay. So rather than fighting it, the truth is the computer system, you see, computer has to do with input, processing, and output. That will never change. But how we do the input, processing, and output is what is going to change. The computer came to replace typewriter. If I have a covenant to typewriter, right, my job will be replaced. But if I knew that the typewriter is only a tool and tools evolve, but the skill is being able to type, view what is processed, and then get the output, I will transition. So the aim here is knowing where the landscape is going so that you could actually transition. And as Angela said, and as every other person said, I do try as much as possible to ask, okay, have you done this? What's the roadmap for this year? Darlington, like you can't even say this, the sentence will not complete. It's like those years where our parents used to use back of pot or back of spoon or back of anything. In fact, I thought I would go for, there's this joke where one guy took his parents to court. And he said, why have you brought your parents to court? He said, ever since I was small, my mother keeps saying she will break my head. I'm 25 and my head is still not broken. It simply means she has given a promise, she has not fulfilled it. Maybe other promises she has made in my life, she has still not. So this is, and it was a very big major court case. So my point here is I'm going to break the head of anybody so that we'll break the head, open it and put, we believed so many things. Like if you're trying to read a book, the thing did not enter, take that portion, burn it inside candle, soak it inside ogi, and then drink it. Or if you're preparing for exam, you go and barb your hair. I don't know where some of those things came. Like you barb your hair so that when you are reading, the thing will be entering. And you'll be wondering, somebody with afro is coming first. You that you have barb even the skin, barb the layer and everything, you are still struggling with God. Please let me just pass. The truth is this: success does not follow whether you know God or you don't know God. God has put principles. We just need to follow those principles. And one of the principles for a successful career is to actually do a roadmap plan. So this is why it is important that you've gotten a job today does not mean you will be in the job forever, right? Things are getting a lot more difficult. You need to know where is the trend, how are things going? What is the government saying? What's the industry saying? I don't want to invest so much only to go into the market and discover that, oh, I've just wasted 6 months of my time. So it's very, very important that we lay out a roadmap like this. So if I have gotten this thing, now I will just, it doesn't mean it is cast in stone. It can always change. For example, if I put constraint management in year 2, and I discover that the job I am doing, there's a lot of constraint management I need to learn, I will carry delivery life cycle, put it in year 3, carry constraint management, bring it back to year 1, and start learning. How can I manage constraints? Who should I meet? Who can I speak to? What should I learn? Which conference should I go to? Right? But the point is, you need to focus on few things so that you don't clog the whole year. Don't do like some of us those years when they say 31st night we'll carry our long list of things we want God to do for us. They will reach like five pages. In fact, the angel that is looking at you say, look at you, you're not even ready, you're not even prepared. And we'll write all of those things. 15th of January into the new year, we don't even know where that paper is. But we have prayed, we have canvassed, and all of those things. I pray that we add a little bit of sense to how we approach things. So this is now 6 months. The 6 months actually falls from here. So let me take project management. I said I want to do agile project management and delivery life cycle in my first year. So what does that mean? In 6 months' time, I need to break down agile project management. So there is sprint planning there is this, there is that, there is working with an agile team, there's agile. So, and things are very easy these days. If I go to Gemini or I go to Copilot and I say, please give me a 6 months focused, what should I focus on in 6 months if I want to improve on agile project management? Please give me month by month by month. It will give me. I don't need to think. All I do is whatever it has given me, I'll put month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6. These are skills. Now, tools, based on those skills, I would know the tools that I need to be learning on a monthly basis. Now, some tools can span 3 months, 4 months, because it's not as if, don't get me wrong, one thing can span up to 3 months. One thing can span up to 4 months. Certifications, it all depends on finances. You might not have the money to do it. I do tell my students that do not focus on certification. Focus on getting the job done. I have seen so many people with driver's license who cannot drive. And I've seen people who do not have driver's license, but they can save your life and drive. You know, the best thing is the knowledge. It's just that sometimes where we come from, they want to know, do you have certification? This. I know how many people who are certified that have been retrained. Am I saying certification is not good? No. I got my very first job in transition into project management in 2017. I was working stylishly in project management with Huawei from 2015 though, but I moved into that particular role without having a certification. It was after I got into the job, I leaned on the learning and career development of the organization. I said, see, this, they now pushed me in for those who will get certified. And this is mostly plenty of the things that has happened. Some of my friends or some of my colleagues, some are even joining here. I even met them when I went to write one certification exam after I had started working as a project manager without the certification. But what was my focus on? Skills. I knew I had all the skill sets. I had worked with some couple of project managers and I've grown the experience. And when I got to interview, I was speaking more like somebody who was experienced. They didn't even bother to ask me, did you have this? Because they knew that for you to speak the way you're speaking like somebody who is already certified. Now, this would really, really help. Now, if you want to, like I know some persons are here, one of the things in their roadmap is they want to relocate, they want to transition, they want to move. You need to plot it. You need to even know. Don't just say, oh God, any day you know, it has to be intentional. Everybody who is in this call today came here intentionally. We don't bath unintentionally. We don't brush our teeth unintentionally. We don't wear clothes unintentionally. All these things were done intentionally. Why then would you not be intentional when it comes to career? So please, one thing we do is we do sit down. I know I can't explain everything here, but we do sit down with people and go into 1, 2 hours, 3 hours to come up with this roadmap plan. This is going to help you on how to go about. For somebody, I have one of my senior colleagues here, for somebody who wants to be a data scientist. How can you be a data scientist without, first of all, knowing the core basics of being a data analyst? Some things are not, how can you, there are things that, so there's a roadmap for every particular career you want to go into. If you want to be a network engineer, at least if you have core understanding of IT support or whatever, it would really, really help. If you want to go into some, I'm not saying you cannot transition directly, but the truth is that the last thing I would say is if somebody was born in Japan and I came from Nigeria to Japan, now you would notice that children who were born in Japan, as long as their parents are speaking and as long as they are going to school, they don't have to attend a class to learn how to speak Japan. It will flow naturally. But for me, that was baptized in Lagos with all the good and bad English, plus the pidgin, plus the everything, I would need a special care to learn Japanese. In fact, I will first of all be mixing my Japanese with English, and I need Japanese speaking people around me for me to actually become fluent in Japanese. Or if you then carry me into, like, if you carry me into Japan, I still need to learn. So somebody who is starting from scratch, your roadmap would be a little bit, we're not racing with anybody here. Don't look at it that, oh, I started this other person has, you were not born together, and we're not going to die together. All those, don't let anybody deceive you that, if you're not here, I will die. Or if you're like, it does not work. So please, we have to be very intentional. So my summary here is, we'll do a market analysis. It might take some bit of time. After that, we then map out what is going to be in 2 or 3 years' time, based on what we are seeing from the market. Then, based on that, we'll then focus on 6 months or 1 year. What should, because the 1 year needs to be done before we go into 2, before we go into 3. So, Precious, this is all I have to share. I know we are at the break of time, so I need to stop talking now before I lose control.
Yes, before I bring the police officer to arrest you.
Exactly. I'm driving very fast now.
Okay, thank you so much, Darlington. And I know that a lot of us learned so many things, and there are key takeaways for me personally, and I know every other person has their own takeaway. And if you, for more insights, if you've not joined Mentors Partners, for more insights, for clarity, just go to our website. The link is in the chat box. Just click, just a click away, and it's free. Your first consultation is free. So just go and ask all the questions you want to ask, and you'll get clarity. Then for us, the alumni that are in Mentors Partners, if you need clarity also, you can also reach out to us on the WhatsApp group.
So, Precious, I have something to quickly say. I think for those who, I think there's a webinar that is coming up from next week. So if you go to the website itself, if you scroll down, we have about 3. There will be webinars happening every week, right? So if they go to upcoming events, I think next week we're looking at focusing on project management. There'll be some experts in the panel who, if you have questions around project management, they're happy to answer it. So it's more like, how do you, is a continuation of this. How do you transition into project management within 4 months and then continue from there? That would happen the same time that we're doing the one for business analysis and change management. So there'll be 2 parallel webinars running at the same time. So it will be happening every week. So I just decided to share this. So if we go to the website, you could just register for it for free. And I hope to see some of us by next week. So there would be upper week, we have data analysis, we have data science, we have IT support engineering, we have document control. So we have technical sales, accounts management. So we'll be calling experts to come and speak to people who do not know because sometimes we hear about things and we get confused and we don't even know how to go about it. So we will be having some of these things to just explain what these roles and things are about.
Thank you, Darlington. Thank you for that. That was very important. Thank you so much. Please, for those that are in different parts of the world and you feel you maybe by next year or by the middle of this year, you'll be moving to another location, you also need clarity and you need insights on how things work in your new location. It's so different if you're in Africa, and it's different if you're in Europe or if you're in Middle East or any other place. So if you reach out, you will get clarity, and also you could make your research. So from Namdi, my key takeaway was committing to growth. It has to be an intentional thing. Then also align your core values. You don't have to lose yourself because you want to grow or because you want to get to a position. Know your values and align to it. And Angela made it clear that you have to be truthful to yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and also you can have a gap analysis with mentors partners, and it will help you streamline so many big questions in your head. And you can also, if you're confused, maybe you feel data analytics is what you love, but you see yourself doing more of business analysis and maybe you're more skilled in that. When you reach out to us, we can also help you streamline this process and make you find where you can fit in perfectly. Angela talked about maintaining relationship with your mentors. So for the graduate, for the alumni, you need to also maintain relationship with your mentors. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Don't say, I'm disturbing this person so much. Don't just disturb us. Disturb. We want it. We like it. Then from Darlington, he talked about breaking down your career path into tiny bits, because sometimes when you look at it, it feels so cumbersome. It feels like, how will I make this happen? But when you break it down into tiny bits, into years, you give yourself, okay, this is what I want to do in 6 months, in 1 year. You see that there's going to be strengths that will come into you to push further, and also make research. If you want to go into business analysis or data management or IT or anything you want to go into, make your research and know the things that you would love to do. If you love numbers, you just know that you're going into data analysis. But if you don't love numbers, if you don't love dealing with numbers, just know that there are other fields for you to fit into. If you're a good planner, you might not feel is project management, but come on, if you can plan your wedding, if you can plan events, just know that you have more skills in project management, and mentors partners would also help you shaping that skill. Then he talked about start working on yourself. Like, you need to work on yourself when you've already made your research and say, okay, this is where I want to be. So you work on yourself with timelines. Okay, you say in 1 year I want to grow, I want to, as he said, learn how to drive a car. Then after learning how to drive the car, you can then go into certifications and all that. Those tools are going to help you go far in your career. So at this point, I'll make the floor open. We just have a few minutes. Please, if you have questions, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. And if you feel, okay, I don't want to ask my question here, you can drop it on the chat and we would respond to it. I also want to remind us that the WhatsApp groups are open. Please, when you check the community page, you just go to the region you're in. If you want to travel to maybe UK and you say, okay, let me join the UK group by faith. I understand the faith thing, but please join the place you are currently in. If you're in Africa, please join Africa. Then when you move to UK, we can move you to that of UK, because the information that will be dropped there will be precise to your location and precise to you. It will be very helpful to you if you're in the right place. So the floor is open for questions, for even if the question is not concerning what we did today, please, you can ask your questions. We have professionals, and in a few minutes we'll be rounding off. Thank you. Okay, we have a hand up from Osita Fine. Please, can you ask your question?
Okay, please. The question I have is for Mr. Darlington. I want to know which app or software does he use to manage his schedule according to months. Like 6 months, you see the months on top, and then the stuffs that he has planned to do or learn within those months or achieve within those months. That's my question. And concerning the group, how can I join the mentorship partners group for Africa?
Okay, for the group. Sorry, Darlington, let me take the second question, then you go with the first one. So on the chat box, you'll see the link for the alumni community on WhatsApp. So you just click on it and it will show you the various regions. So you just choose the one you're in and you just join in. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, Osita, if you like, just to also add, it would be great to if you want to go through the program, then become an alumni. Then, so I think there is a link to sign up that. But the question you ask is, what software do I use to plan out? Is it for based on career or what I use for day-to-day work? I just want to be very clear.
Okay, based on the career and day-to-day work.
Okay, there are two. You're a wise man. You're asking two in one question. Okay, so I would show us something. Angela is my boss when it comes to business analysis. So let me borrow some of her skill to just share something. So I have this career development roadmap which I use, right? So remember what I said about what I shared in the PowerPoint. So I've broken down, I know the road, what I need to focus on the next 4 years. One of them is product management. Another one is data literacy. Another is AI. Another is program management. Another is coaching. Another is technical leadership. And then the last one is executive leadership. I believe that's it. So now I told us that I did a research on these particular companies, right? And I knew, looking at their job role, I saw what they are asking for. So in terms of their project managers, this is what they want. They need their project managers to be able to manage requirements. They need their project managers to have full understanding of delivery life cycle. And these are different types of delivery life cycle that they use. They need their project managers to have deep understanding of stakeholder management. And these are the things they mentioned, the type of stakeholders. They need their project managers to have things on strategic issue resolution. They need their project managers to have strong data literacy. This may not be for all organizations, but I use them as a benchmark. And I listed out everything. And this, I rate myself at the moment. This was just for lesson purpose. So, but I rate myself at the moment. Where am I in terms of requirements management and demand? For example, I am 90% here. In terms of delivery life cycle, okay, I have 3 of them. I can do this. I know how to use this one, but I don't know how to use this one. So where am I going to learn? I need to maybe check on Udemy or LinkedIn. That's my learning source. Like what I do is, for everyone, I have a learning source, I have a market trend, I have a development plan. So this, I would then take this thing into that roadmap that I shared 5 or 10 minutes ago to say new product introduction. I would learn this in the next 3 months. I don't know it, for example. And then cross-functional project, I know how to do project management, but when it comes to managing people from different departments at the same time for a very complex things, I don't know how to do it. So I need to take this particular skill under stakeholder management as part of the thing I would also learn in the next 3 months. I won't clog it so much. Now you can do it like this, or you could actually have, I don't know, some of us, if you know how to use Trello, you could actually use Trello I use Trello, I use Monday.com, all of them. It's just that this one asked me to log in now. I don't want to start logging in. So Trello would help you to say, this is in progress, this is a review, this is done. So we can have a session to go deeper into how to use those particular tools, but there are several tools that you can use to get some of these things done. Even me, I went down to interview style for this particular type of job. If you want to do this technical program management job, right? The way they do their interview is 54% behavioral questions, 36% technical questions, and only 10% of project or program management. So when somebody say, Darlington, you went to that interview, you smashed it. Glory be to God. It's like you drank anointing oil. I did not drink any anointing oil. Rather, I took my time to know what the market is asking, and then I've prepared myself for the market. Do you understand? So everything has to be backed up with data. So I know the certificate that is required to be an effective technical programmer. I'm just using that for an example. It can be anything. It can be fashion design. It can be auto mechanic. It can be digital transformation. It can be business analysis. It can be account management. It can be anything. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What does the market ask that person should have? What tools do you need to be able to be effective? Now, if I gather all of these things, the next question is, okay, how do I start? This is where we come in to help you to start. But then after starting, the roadmap is to help you to continue, because you don't want to start something and get stuck. I don't want to be traveling to the UK via Turkish airline, get to Istanbul and I get stuck. I need to know what to do when I get to Istanbul, because Istanbul is not the destination. So we would see how to help on that particular journey. Yeah, Daniel, your hands are up.
Okay. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Asuni. Good afternoon, Darlington. And first of all, let me appreciate what you guys have taken out time to do, and may God continue to bless all of you. So, what I just want to say is not really much of a question. It's like a question and probably maybe like a comment too at the same time.
Yeah.
So for me, um, fine, most of everything that's been discussed so far in this session, yeah, it's not as if I'm not aware of it. So I'm already aware of it. I mean, I've worked in different sectors in the retail, in waste management and recycling, and recently in interior design and architecture. Although, if you ask me what role did I play across this industry, I was more of an operations guy and a project personnel guy. But the current situation, especially in the area, or let me say, I'm in Nigeria here in Lagos.
Yeah.
So the real question here now is not about, it's not as if people don't understand the market. Do you understand? So to an extent, people understand the market, but I know you've mentioned, everyone has mentioned everything about, opportunities in the market and all that. But the issue now is when you get into certain work environment or organizations,
Yes.
how do you actually even scale up when they're not even giving you the tools to actually scale up? That is the number one thing ongoing here, especially here in Lagos.
Yeah.
You get to an organization, fine, they make promises that, oh, we do this is our work culture. But upon getting into such an environment, you just see a total different thing entirely. And usually it results to you either one, probably maybe you're in a team where they are, or probably maybe you're in a position where you don't have good hands to work with you. Do you understand? So even most of the things that you set out to actually go and do, what they even actually hired you for, you are even not able to accomplish some of these things. Do you get? So, and there's also an issue with, a toxic work environment and all that.
Yeah.
That that's another, sorry, that's another like discussion entirely on its own.
Yeah.
So especially with, working in a place where they actually claim to be structure. So in some work environment, there's actually no structure. It's fine. They claim there's actually structure, but to be sincere, when you get in, it's either you're already derailed off what you actually want to go and accomplish there on your own. And it's either you become overwhelmed, too, time will go, and if you now say you want to now track your progress and all that, you find out that you really, really not done or accomplished much.
Okay.
So, like for example, now you mentioned something about interview. Like now, like on today is what, Saturday, on on Wednesday, yes, I had an interview here. Fine, it went well. Let me use your word. They smashed it. You understand me? But there's also another thing. Okay, fine. I gave them. They asked me for my salary expectation, and when I gave it to them, you know, they came with the, okay, is it non-negotiable or something like that? And I said, okay, it's not negotiable. So there's also that trend of when they hire you, you get underpaid, or they give you that promise of, within a certain time, blah, 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 would increase your salary and all that, all that. So I think sometimes we find is that, let me just end this so that I won't stretch this. There's the aspect of understanding the market, but where to actually now look or apply to for you to thrive and grow is another discussion entirely.
Okay.
So I think these are the things. So it's just like say I'm not saying every country or everywhere, like, sorry, you're in the UK, if I'm correct.
Yes, at the moment.
So I'm not saying that all that I've highlighted or mentioned, you don't have them over there. But I just feel to an extent, if that whole structure thing, it's pivotal to someone's, you know, should I say progress or growth?
Okay, let me
Yeah.
let me help. Thanks so much for the question. I came to the UK 2023, somewhere January, early February. I can't remember. Before that, I was in Nigeria. Every of the experience I had gotten, I got in Nigeria. I have worked in an organization where I had to be the everything. I've worked in an organization that had structure. I worked with an organization that me and myself, I was a structure that people were building on top of me. So irrespective of all of these things, I was so glad that God had to put me in all of these places, but I did not forget where I was going to. Being in a prison does not mean we're not going to sleep. And when people sleep, they will dream. And when they dream, if God has given me the ability to interpret it, I will interpret. Prison does not take away the gift. It might only prolong when we're going to come out. So, like you're saying, understanding the market, all these things you're mentioning is part of the market. So, how do you play and survive in an environment like this? If I join a company today, the first thing I do is I spend 1 month, 2 months to understand that particular company. Once I know how the company is, in my mind, I've already determined how long I'm going to stay here. While I'm in that company, I am thinking of my next move. I know this is on record. There are companies I joined today, and I know that this particular company is ATM card. There are companies you join, and you know that this particular company, it's somewhere I can stay for the next 10 years because of what I have seen. There are companies you will join. You know that this company is a connecting flight. It's not a destination. There are companies you will join. You just know that this particular company is fellowship we are doing here. We're not working. So you need to be able to define, when you join a particular company, you need to define it's not, interview is not a one-way thing. It's two ways. You need to define what am I going to achieve or attain while in this particular place. So that you don't use emotions to do things, right? You need to sit down and understand, especially understand your environment. If I work for the government, there's the way things happen in state governments in Nigeria and in federal governments in Nigeria. If I'm working in the ministry, there are ways things happen. You need to understand and know, is this a fit for me or not? If not, where should I go? That's why one of the things that helped me is the fact that I've coached and worked with people in different industries, in different times, in different lives and work environments. So I have seen as plenty and as you could think of. There are students who transitioned into a particular job. They couldn't stay. I don't know if I used to have one of my senior friends, Aziz, here. I don't know if he's still here or he has dropped. Okay, he has dropped. I wanted to ask him. There was a time he joined he had like 4 offers from one company, and then he decided to join one. That one was the highest paying of all of them. And you know, sometimes if you focus on money, you will lose some other things. So he focused on, we were like, he asked, so he chose one. And then while he was there, he just discovered that that place was quite toxic. But the money was, see, God will help us. You know, there's a way you'll be complaining that this company, I don't like this company. You complain first of the month, you complain second, you complain 22nd, but on the 24th, allow to just enter, boom. And as you enter, you just die down a little bit. Then first of the month, you start again. And you'll be asking, should you continue like this? What's the most important thing for you? It has to be career growth. It has to be peace of mind. And then it has to be an environment that enables you. So if you happen to find a place that is not that, do not leave immediately, but start planning for your living. Don't wait till when it chokes you. So just start planning for, I am going to leave this place in the next 6 months. I am not going to be showing them any sign that I'm leaving. I will do everything I need to do. I think Ayo is here. Ayo, you were mentioning one time that while you were working as a Scrum Master, your manager was giving you some roles that were not even Scrum Master, like maybe you had to be the one writing the requirement, you had to be the, and what did I tell you? I said, do it. You're not going to stay there for long. Grab all of those things they are pushing to you. In fact, one of the best things that has helped me to grow while I was in Nigeria was that as they were pushing to my side, I was doing. As they were pushing, I was doing. I did not complain. Where did I learn that from? They said Isaac dug a well. They went to cover it. He didn't go and start calling the elders to come and settle fights. What did he do? He went and dug another one. They covered, dug another. If you give me job, I will do it. For me, I would learn, use it to increase my learning in the shortest possible time, and I'll leave. I remember some places where it was sometimes I'll be working till 12 a.m., 1 p.m. trying to do a report. I knew that it was just a very short time. And after that time, I left them and I went to another place, a place that you'll be relaxing and you put your leg, fold your hands. And so you need to understand the company you're working with, your company you're working for. If it doesn't work, don't wait till when it chokes you. Then by the time you want to leave, you're already paralyzed, or a whole lot of things has passed.
Okay, sorry, I agree with you 100%, yeah, but at the same time, if you keep jumping, it does not also tell good on your personality and on your CV. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know that. I get. But it is better to jump while I still have leg than for me not to jump at all. And you know that you can't jump from a wheelchair. It's not, you go for Paralympics, Olympics, and what they call it. It's better to jump while you have leg. And the truth is this. One of the things that I said is that most times our choice is driven by money, or our choice is driven by more. This one don't come, or we have to just accept. No, sit down. If you know how to pray, you pray. If you don't know how to pray, you ask for somebody who knows how to pray. When I did my master's in UK, came back to Nigeria. In fact, I was always going to come back to Nigeria. Some persons in the UK then said, don't come back. Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. I already knew in my heart that God wanted me to come back. I came back. I attended the first interview. They said they were going to pay me 50,000. I looked at it and I calculated how much my father borrowed to send me to go and do masters. 50,000 if I could. I knew that it was not going to work. Then I attended an interview with a company called Branet, and then I got to the last. In fact, they sent me an offer. I told them they should wait. I was going to accept it or not. In that same period, I was to do an interview with Huawei. Now, I looked at both of them. Now, first of all, before joining, I was asking people, Branet, they said, if from the interview period, I was getting a little bit of vibe, which type of company to be, which type of company to not be. And then God willing, God helping, I chose Huawei over Cobranet. I was working with Huawei. Huawei, I had a vision. I just finished my master's. My brain was hot, network security, network engineering. I started working as a wireless engineer. From there, they moved me to managing materials. They moved me to warehousing. They moved me to this. They moved me to that. They were moving me in everywhere. God knows my heart. I was not, as at 2014, 2015, I did not have anything project management in my head. I was never planning. Nobody, some people say I already knew I'll be a project manager from the womb. I don't know how they say it, but for me, I was not planning. I already had my mind fixed on engineering. But then God was using whosoever I was using in the company to move me here, move me there. I was not having any balance. But all of those things, I was not complaining. I was, they give me anything, I'll do it well. They move me to this side, I'll do it well. They'll push me to sites, they'll do this until I got married and then I got sacked. I got released from Huawei in 2017 January. Got married November 2016, 2 months after that. And I was like, God, what is happening? How can you come and explain to your wife that you've told her this company is a very structured company, there is life, she comes into your life, and then 2 months after that, you're sacked? Where do you want to start from? So there's this thing I love in Psalm 23. It says, thou preparest before me a table in the presence of my enemy. So what that means is either you focus on the table or you focus on the enemy. So I sat down, Lord, where is the table here? In all of these things, where is the table? The table was like, I have been trying to put you in places to learn. I fell in love with that company. I didn't want to leave them. But God, who knew 3 years from that time, knew that the only way for me to help this guy who is so greedy in loving his current position was to keep moving him places so that he could learn. So I gathered all the project management, even when I was not planning to be a project manager, because God was orchestrating, moving me here and there and there. 2017, I then transitioned properly into project management. That was where I got the job with the company that I started working remotely from Nigeria 2017, even before anything COVID. I have another friend. I think Akim, my friend here, knows. His name is ID. He's in Poland. Before he moved over there, he was working in an organization and he had a bit of challenges. And I told him same thing. I said, this is what happened to me. Don't focus on the company is this, maybe it's a one-man business or it's a two-man business. My boss is owing me salary or they've not paid me this. Don't focus on that. Focus on what is the thing God has surrounded you with. He said that he has internet. I'll say, fine. You have a system, say fine. You have a happy family, I say fine. Okay, what can you do with your system? What can you do with the internet? We registered and he transitioned into system and DevOps engineering. So while people go home, he will stay back in the office, download labs, he will be working. While doing that, he stopped focusing on whether salary was paid or whether salary was not paid, because we had charted a 1-year roadmap. We're focusing on what was ahead, not what was surrounding us, not what Nigeria was saying, not what this was saying. God is my witness if I tell a lie or not. In less than a year, fully focusing on where we are going to, not the side mirror, not the back mirror, but the windscreen. This guy was able to he did just one interview. It was a company called Visa. It's in Europe, and he has left. This is why I said, whatever you're saying now, Daniel, I know it. I've been through it. But I tell you that if we want to focus on if you want to focus on the giant in the promised land, you will not enter. But if you forget your eyes on those things and look at the grapes, look at the mighty fruits, only you and Caleb, your brother, and Joshua will enter. So this is what I tell people. The reason for this roadmap, this thing, is not to focus on things that are happening around me. I've never been paid. We don't have light. It is generator. Fuel is this. Those things will not change. Even in the next 5 years, you don't have power to change it. or can we focus on what we have power to change, which is our present situation going forward? Where do I want to go to? And how can I use the things around me to get there? Focus on where we're going to. Don't focus on what I don't have. I don't have some things. I can't focus on things I don't have. I can't. So let's take time, look at all of these things. I want to be a senior system engineer. It's not what I am now, but this is what I want to be. Okay, what do they need? Where is the market? Is it a system engineer in Nigeria, a system engineer that can be working remotely, or system? Have a bigger vision. I attended a seminar yesterday, and the king of Saudi, they were giving a story. The king of Saudi invited golfers because he was having his birthday, invited top golfers and asked one of the golfer, what do you want? The guy said, okay, this one the king is asking. He said he wants a club. And the king of Saudi said, okay, fine, that's fine. The guy who said he wanted a club is the stick, because the stick is called a club. So he went back to the US. 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks passed, 4 weeks passed. In the 5th week, he got a mail through his doorpost and says, from the king of Saudi Arabia, this is the 500, is it acres or hectares golf club somewhere in US. Now, the king of Saudi Arabia was interpreting golf club as the entire land where the golf is being played. While this guy was thinking he was just asking for a special stick. So my point is, when we talk to God, God interprets things based on his own capacity, not based on what you are saying. Because me, I'll be saying, God, I need a job innocently. My children tell me things they need. But me, who is their parent, knows bigger beyond what they do. That's why that place says God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, far above what we could ever think, ask, or imagine. But we need to ask, think, and imagine. That's our own part. Then God's own is to do beyond what we think, ask, or imagine. So we need to know that Nigeria is not my target, or Nigeria is my target, or Africa is my target, or UK is my target market, or whatever it is. It will not happen until you ask, think, and imagine, because only when you ask, it shall be given. It's only when you think or seek, you shall find. That's my job. My job is to ask. My job is to seek. My job is to knock. That's my job. I can't be there telling God, God, do something for me. No, he has asked me what to do. I've not done it. Because Jesus will come back and say, thou foolish servant, I gave you 1 talent and you went to bury it. Because, boy, God, you gave me mouth now. Use it to ask. God, you gave me brain. Use it to think. Think, ask. Let's stop saying Nigeria is not working. There are people in Nigeria that, Mickey, please stop me so that I'll stop talking, because
Yes,
I
yes.
started preaching now. It's not a Bible study. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Darlington. Thank you for the clarity. I believe everyone benefited from it. And please, if you have more doubts, if you feel you have other questions and you're not registered in Mentors Partners, please go to our website and just ask for a free consultation. Yes, for the recording, it will be on the WhatsApp group. So if you haven't joined the group, please click. It's on the chat box. Just click and join the group that pertains to you. It's in regions. So if you're in Africa, if you're in Europe, wherever you are, there must be a group for you to join. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate your time, and we hope to see more of us in more webinars and more programs. So enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed.